boy, the Nature Boy here. Thank you guys for joining me today for another fishing adventure. And so I'm going to be doing a series just teaching the basics of bass fishing, the mindset of bass fishing, and help people get an insight. If you never fished or picked up a rod, this is the place to be, because I was at one point in the place you are, wanting to, if you just want to just pick up a hobby, or if you're really interested in bass fishing, this is the place to be, man. I have like 20 years experience of bass fishing, fished other stuff, but I learned the skill, to catch fish, and what other greater way to help is to teach what you've learned. And so this is coming off of 20 years experience fishing, and the heat, cold, not catching anything, to catch anything, did it all. And so today this is going to help a lot of, I believe, new beginners like myself. When I started off, just like you, wanting to get into fishing, had a touch of experience, but didn't really know how to do it. So I watched Genius, a fluke master, just checking him out. He was my teacher for a very long time. And I actually, a lot of his videos helped me to catch my first fish and to catch my first boat fish, which was like 5 pounds. And I believe if I want to watch those videos, I wouldn't be as good as I am today. And that's usually how it goes, man. You learn from people, you go through your experiences and different things, your trials and errors, and then you add little things to it. And, before you know it, you just hook setting, catching big bass and all that. And so today I'm going to go over something very, very basic, simple. If you're a avid fisherman, this is nothing to you. For a new beginner, it means a lot because of where I was. This is the very first lure I caught a fish on, man. Today I'm talking about something very, very simple. This is the one thing that, like I said, learn how to catch fish on, and also it was that first teaching of me to understand fishing. And so we're talking about the worm. There are many variations of the worm. If you watch my videos, I like throwing something fat, juicy. I call them the fat juicies. I call it ground and pound. When things aren't, going their best, and you throw the lipless crankbait, you throw on the jerk bait, you throw on the top water, you throw on the fish, and you're going through that routine, the fish is just not hitting, you're gonna hit something with this. You're gonna get a hit, strike, you're gonna catch a fish. As a matter of fact, I've caught some of my biggest fish on just using a simple worm. Now, like I said, there are different variations, different styles. This is the Yum version. I really suggest checking out Guggen Bait's Lunker Log. It's the perfect worm. Why do I say that? It's fat, it's juicy, it's attracted to these fish. It's probably a little bit thicker than this, a little bit longer than this, a little bit thicker than this. Of the Guggen Bait Lunker Log, I go for the green, the basic color. And the setup with this is you can go Texas rig, racky worm, different variations, but today I'm gonna be talking about the Texas rig. Texas rig is a very, very popular, very basic way of catching fish. Throwing a worm is a very basic way of catching fish, but it catches fish. It has great results. And so there are different variations of colors and different sizes, but something this color works with a chartreuse. I don't know why fish like chartreuse. I don't get it, man. But they love chartreuse. I like throwing an all black zoom worm, zoom trick worm, 6-inch zoom trick worm. I like throwing the all black or green or this type of color. The other stuff, I have thrown other, other colors, but I just tend to stick that because it has, results. And so, the setup with this is, a Texas rig hook, not the Texas rig, of course, Texas rig style. Open eye hook, I preferably go for open eye hook. It looks more has more realism, because if you just the Texas rig hook, it doesn't have that it kind of stays stiff, but open eye hook gives it room enough to move around. Now when I'm throwing it, if I'm throwing in shallow water, I'm using, just I'm not using a weight or anything with it if I'm throwing shallow. Now if I'm throwing deep, I'll put like a basic bullet weight on. I forget the size of it. It's about about that big. That bullet weight's about that big. Some people like it free fall, like the free falling. Me, I like to pinch that bullet weight and to have it sitting right on the top of that. And so just to kind of cover the retrieve, like me, I'll throw it out and I'll let that bait hit the bottom. I'll wait 5-6 seconds. You can wait a little bit longer than that, and I'll just kind of bounce that bait off the bottom, just kind of little bounces. When I'm throwing it deep or shallow, I'm bouncing about 5 or 6 times. And now my retrieve, of course, we're going to keep this at the bottom. Any bait or any lure you're throwing, you want to try to mimic those things around its environment, whether it be a fish or a frog or anything like that. You want to mimic make the movement and retrieve as real as possible. So this is not going to be floating all around and just doing weird stuff. It's going to be like a worm and keep it as close to the bottom as I can. So in my retrieve, I'm doing like a 3-2. So I'll do like a 1-2-3, and I'll pause, 1-2, pause, 1-2-3, and I continue that all the way to the bank. And if sometimes if there's no hits or anything like that, I won't retrieve. I just kind of bounce it, just kind of bounce it like that. Just kind of bounce it around, move it like that. And you can actually try that. Just bounce it, move it around. Something's on my camera. Okay. And so that's very simple. Like I was saying before, a big huge tip. You want to use that lure or your worm or anything you're throwing. You want to mimic whatever, whether it be color. You want to match the hatch. You want to match those. If it's a frog's there, if the frog's green, throw something green, white. If the frogs are black, throw something black, white. If the frog is purple, throw a purple frog. I've never seen a purple frog, but I know it's out there somewhere. And so you want to mimic these basses. Meals, I call them meals. You want to mimic the motion, the movements, and so you basically want to match the surroundings of what they normally see, how these fish move and different things like that. So like I said, it's going to be very, very simple today. This is the lure that got me in the game, and this is the lure that helped me catch my first bass, and it actually helped me catch my first 2-pounder, my first 5-pounder, and also my first 8-pounder, and accidentally a bowfin. I don't know how you catch a bowfin with a worm, but that day I caught a bowfin, and it was beautiful. It was beautiful. Hooking that bowfin with the lure was like the weirdest color. It was like a purple and black with like shiny spots. I don't know what I was doing that day, but that bowfin liked it. So until next time, guys, come back and check me out. Hit that like, subscription button, and get more tips. Get more tips and things like that. And I will see you guys later. And remember, keep it popping.